Warzone 2 is finally here, and yes, it does work on Steam Deck with Windows 10. Obviously not on Steam OS, unfortunately, thanks to the Ricochet anti-cheat. However, it does run pretty well on Steam Deck on Windows. However, it does crash here and there as well, and it wouldn't be a bit of Warzone without absolute mayhem in the buildings. As I said, unfortunately, this does seem to crash at random. Doesn't seem to matter what mode or where you are in the game, but you will just get a crash out like this. It could happen at any point, so I haven't found any particular pattern. However, I did find that trying to do the multiplayer shoot house, that crashed every time I even loaded into a lobby. But I think this game just needs a bit of work. The third person battle royale is a nice introduction, but also a very quick way to get killed. And we've also got now 2-person gulag to get yourself out for a bit of an extra challenge of 2 on 2. As you can see with the frames per second, it really does depend on the area, whether we drop down to 40 or we can hold up higher in the 50s and 60s. And generally it does feel very stable. Testing this out, I was using a mouse and keyboard docked with this running on Windows 10 via the JSAUX M2 dock, which you can find in the links in the description below. This was running at the lowest quality settings, not the recommended performance settings, which I think you probably eke a little bit more out, but it does look okay to play, but it is probably the bare minimum graphics wise that I would want to be playing on. If you want to get a little bit more performance out, you can go for those recommended performance settings, but then it does look even worse, and it's down to personal preference. The DMZ mode I do actually really like. This is a mix of objectives with lots of AI, and the AI range from being pretty dumb to actually extremely brutal. So really interesting mode on the DMZ mode if you want to get into that co-op AI type environment but still be playing Warzone 2. As you'll see through the gameplay, we do get a few loading spikes here and there, but otherwise it is extremely stable. You can actually download Warzone 2 on Steam, so you can just use the default controller maps. But if you do run this through battle.net, then you will need to use SWICD, which you can check out in our Windows 10 guide, also in the description below. It is worth noting that I am using the UMA buffer fix, so I do have 4 GB of VRAM in this as well, and I'll leave the link in the description below of how to set up the UMA buffer as well. Let us know in the comments below if you've been diving into Warzone 2, and especially if you've been playing Warzone on Steam Deck. Let us know your experience of the crashes. I have had those crashes on my PC version as well, so this does seem to be more of a game issue and not specific to the Steam Deck right now, which is kind of to be expected considering it's only just released. So it would be great to see some of the performance patches as this progresses, but it's definitely a nice addition to the previous Warzone series. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.